Stop trusting the capacitor that's already in the unit. I know this sounds weird, and honestly, I hope I'm preaching to the choir, but I've probably went to hundreds of houses where a technician has installed a capacitor that's, say, 5 microfarads above or below the rated value of the unit. Some of my techs actually lived by that, where you could go up 5 microfarads or down 5 microfarads. But that's incorrect. The tolerance is built into the capacitor itself, and it's not a flat value, it's a percentage. If you live by that rule, say the system's supposed to have a 35-5, and the next guy comes by and puts in a 40/5, and then the next guy puts in a 45/5 2 years later or whatever time later, you're going to end up with a massively oversized capacitor. And the odds are that this probably wouldn't mess up the unit, like especially if it's just 5 microfarads, but you don't know that. You could start causing issues with the compressor or the condenser fan motor, and say that you put one in that was oversized, and then shortly after the compressor failed. Now you're not only dealing with a technical problem, but it's also an ethical problem. We had to go back and fix systems where we did that, and that was just a situation I didn't want to be in, because it's like, wow, our technician greatly oversized the capacitor and now the compressor's acting crazy. Did we cause that? Or is that just the nature of, did the system just wore out and it just happened? It's not professional, and it's not really a position you want to be in front of your customer as a technician or as an owner. So the rule that I made at my business was, we no longer just go and swap out what's in there. You need to physically verify what's on the compressor and what's on the condenser fan motor. Or if you're working on a blower motor that still has a capacitor, then the same difference, check the blower motor on the data plate. If you cannot locate that, most manufacturers have easily accessible resources like apps that you can log into and gather that information. What our technicians would do would be, they would confirm it. If they couldn't figure it out, they would call the office, and then we would figure it out for them. Because it's our job to not only fix the system, but we want to do it the right way. We want to give the customer a quality product and not just slap and go repairs that are going to cause other issues for them down the road. That's just an easy way to mess up your reputation. And also, it's just a hacky way of doing things. And then one trick is, carry at least one turbo capacitor on your truck. That way, in the event that you don't have the one you need, yeah, they're more expensive, but cheaper than having to drive to the supply house to get the right part. So turbo capacitors are great. They're US made, and it just gets you out of a bind if you don't have the capacitor that you need. Like I said, I hope I'm preaching to the choir. I hope it was just around where I live that people were doing this, but I figured I'd say something, so if people are just out there doing the same thing that we were encountering, then maybe they can learn something from it. I hope this helps, and thanks for tuning in.